How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's stick mobility class. I'm Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me. So for today's class, I do have two long sticks with me. Over here, I have a pad for us to kneel on and a band. So the squat rack is behind me because we are going to be doing a dumpy squat. However, we're going to have the band around our feet to further exaggerate glute engagement. So we're going to be working on quite a bit of glute engagement today. So if you may have, like, let's say a little bit of lower back stiffness, a little bit of pain, this is going to be a really good workout for you to kind of follow through with. We're going to put a lot of emphasis on really stretching out the hips and getting them opened up here. So we're first going to initially start off with working with the foot and ankles first. And so I'm going to take a horse stance and I want to have my feet a little wider than shoulder width here. And I want to make sure that I'm dropping my hips down just a little bit to make sure I'm in a good, nice and tall position. So pelvis is stacked under the spine here. Now what we're gonna do, step back a bit, is we're gonna bring both heels up. So both heels come up. We're not driving down on the sticks, we're just using them for balance here. Then we're gonna slowly bring my heels down without them touching the floor. I wanna hover them and then bring them back up again. So notice the level of my hips and torso is not changing here. Back down. Excellent. Come up. Good. Keep a nice, good, tall position. Heels down. Up. Good. Heels down. And then back up. Excellent. Now what we're going to do here, we're just going to simply shift side to side. So I'm going to shift to my right. The sticks follow my angle, the spine angle a bit here. Then I'm going to shift over to the left. So I'm individually loading the legs here, loading the foot and ankles as we do this. Shift to the right. You can straighten out that far leg or that outside leg here. Shift to the left, straighten out that right leg. Let's go one more time each way. Shift to the right. Good. Shift to the left. Back to center, down nice and slow, and ease off. Perfect. Now we're gonna do here, we're gonna focus on opening up the hips. So we're first gonna focus on opening up the anterior tissue. So this is where we're gonna need the pad. So I'm gonna come down to the floor here, and I'll actually turn to the side. So from here, I'm gonna have my right knee down, and I want the top of my foot into the floor, so I'm extending or plantar flexing that ankle here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a way to work into that stretch and come out. So we're only going to hold for about 1 to 2 seconds each time. We're going to do 10 per side here. So from here, have both arms straight. The stick, both bottoms aligned of the stick are in line with the arch of my foot here, or about the ball of the foot. So first thing, drive that back foot down, squeeze that right glute, tuck the pelvis. Now from here, I want to actively split the hips. So I'm going to drive my left hip forward and my right hip back. Hold, then back up. That's 1. Shift, really sink into those hips. Up, 2. Good, split those hips. Back up, 3. Good, split the hips here. Up, 4, split the hips. 5, good, 5 more. 6, split the hips. 7, split those hips. 8, 2 more. Split the hips. 9, one more time, split the hips. 10, and ease off. Excellent. So what you should be feeling here is that as we go through this, you really want to feel like a relatively intense stretch on the hip flexor and the anterior tissues of the hip here. And so as you're actively splitting the hips, you're not just driving this hip into extension, but you're effectively flexing this hip. So now we kind of work a little bit on, you might be getting adductors if you're super tight. You might be getting a little bit of hamstring. Surprisingly, sometimes people get hamstrings with this one here. So drive the sticks down lightly, drive that back foot to the floor, squeeze the left glute, tuck the pelvis, split those hips. Good. 1, split the hips. 2, split. 3, split the hips here. 4, 5, doing good, 5 more. Split the hips. 6, split the hips. 7, 3 more. Nice, good tall posture, good position. 8, 2 more here. Squeeze that glute, keep that pelvis tucked. 9, and the last one. 10, good, ease off and relax here. So now we're gonna go to a standing position. We're gonna focus on the adductor, so we don't need a pad here. And so I'm gonna take a pretty wide stance. Again, this is all it's gonna be is whatever is comfortable for you. Now for this, it's gonna look very similar to the hamstring stretch, but what we're gonna do here is we're going to lunge side to side so it can slowly open up those adductors a bit, okay? So I have the bottoms of the stick out pretty far in front of me here. And I have both sticks on my chest area here. And so what I'm gonna do from here, both feet are slightly pointed out. I do want to use the sticks as a guide. So I'm going to slowly hinge my hips back, guiding my hands down the sticks here. So if your hamstrings are pretty tight, you're probably gonna feel a big stretch in the hamstrings here. Make sure you breathe. Excellent. Now I'm going to create tension by pushing down on the stick. So I'm driving my hands downwards towards the floor here. I'm going to get a little bit of lat engagement here. All right. Now from here, I'm going to slowly lunge to my left, really driving off that right foot, sinking my hips down. I'm going to come back to center. And then I'm gonna lunge over to my left, driving off that left leg. Good. Now lunge to the right, left, drive off that right leg. Lunge to the right, drive off that left leg. Really try to sink down into it here. Lunge to the left, drive off that right leg, sink into it. Good. Lunge to the right. Excellent. Back to center. I'm going to slowly come up. Good. Now I'm going to wiggle my feet in. Nice and slow here. All right. So we're going to place one stick down. And now so we're going to kind of start to work on the specific movements of the hip here. So we're going to focus on externally rotating the hip at the same time abducting. So I'm only gonna have you use one stick for this one here. So we're not gonna generate a ton of tension, but we do wanna make sure that the hip stays active. So I wanna start with both feet together, and I wanna have the bottom of the stick at roughly about 1 o'clock here. Now, hands gonna be at shoulder height. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drive that stick down. The bottom of the stick should be in line with the toes here. Only about 30% tension. You're gonna feel all those tissues turn on the lateral side. You're gonna feel the obliques get active here. Now I'm gonna bring that right hip up. Good, bring it up as high as you comfortably can. And I wanna push that leg against the stick here. Gonna create a little bit of a bow. Now we're gonna externally rotate. So I'm going to rotate my foot away from the stick. Hold. 3, 2, 1, back down. Take the leg off the stick and ease off here. I'm going to relax. You're going to feel that left glute working. You should. It's going to be having to stabilize us as we go through this here. Same thing, arm straight, drive the stick down, bring that right hip up, bring it to the stick, push, create that tension, externally rotate. 3, 2, 1, back in, and ease off. Let's go one more time here. So it's really also important to really drive that grounded leg into the floor here. Don't want to end up bending. Drive the stick down. Good. Create that tension. Bring that right hip up. Bring it to the stick. Push. Rotate that foot away. Get that external rotation. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Forward and down and ease off. Good. Now we're going to switch sides. Left hand on the stick. Same thing. 30% tension. Drive the stick down. Bring that left hip up. Bring it to the stick. Drive that knee against the stick. Rotate the foot away. 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot down. Hip forward and ease off. We got 2 more here. Doing good. Drive the stick down. Bring the hip up. Bring it out. Make contact with the stick. Drive against the stick. Rotate that foot away. 3, 2, 1. Back in. Bring it forward. Down. Ease off. Let's go one more time here. Drive the stick down. Left hip up. Bring it to the stick. Push. Rotate the foot away. Keep this right leg straight, glute tight. 3, 2, 1. Back in. And ease off. Excellent. Good. So, really good way to kind of not only open up the hips, but really control that rotational aspect of it. So now, we're going to get into incorporating some T-spine rotations along with opening up the hips a little bit more. So we're going to go back to that wide stance. And I want to have both sticks on the inside or the inside of both feet here. So I want to have one hand higher than the other. So I'm going to start off by rotating to my left. So lunging to my right here. So I'm going to have my left hand up higher. I'm going to have my right hand right about shoulder height. So from here, what I'm going to do, first thing, I'm going to sink my hips back. Right now, I'm going to lunge to my right. As I do that, I'm going to rotate the right stick across and really reach out with that right hand. Pull back with the left. Breathe. Come back up. Excellent. Let's go 2 more here. So you can always adjust the sticks as you need to as well. If you find it a little more comfortable to have them in closer, then I'd say do so. So hinge back. Make sure you're breathing here. Lunge to the right. Bring that right arm across. Reach out with that right hand. Get that rotation. 3, 2, 1. Back up. Excellent. Let's go one more time, then we'll switch sides here. So hinge. Lunge to the right. Drive off that left leg. Reach across with the right hand. 3, 2, 1. Back up. Excellent. Let's go and switch sides here. So I'm gonna have my left hand down, right about shoulder height, right hand up, about forehead height or maybe a little higher. This is gonna the angles that we get to is gonna depend on your mobility, also what you're most comfortable with here. So from here, hinge, lunge to your left, drive off that right leg, reach across with the left hand. Three, 2, 1. Good. Back up. Excellent. Let's go 2 more here. So hinge back. Lunge to your left. Drive off that right foot. Reach out. 3, 2, one, back up. Excellent. Let's go one more time here, folks. Hinge back. Lunge to your left. Reach out with that left hand. 3, 2, 1, back up, and ease off. Gonna wiggle those feet in. All right, now, do want to get in a little bit extra rotation here. And so how I'm gonna do this here is I'm going to actually utilize a stick to bring my arm across here. So the stick's going out to my right side. I have it anchored into a corner wall, something stable for us to kind of drive that stick into lightly. And the stick's gonna start off out, so my arm is stretched out here. To my right hand, I have the bottom of the stick in line with the toes, the line of my toes here. Feet are about roughly hip to shoulder width apart. Now the main thing is we don't want the hips to rotate into it. We just want to keep it to that upper back mid-spine area. So from here, lightly drive the stick down, and I'm going to bring my right hand across. So as I do that, my right shoulder is going to end up rotating forward, left shoulder back. Now I'm going to reach back with that left hand. Then I'm going to slowly bring that left hand forward, and the right hand follows as well. We're going to do that again. Lightly drive that stick down, about 15 to 20% tension. Bring that right hand across the body. So drive off that right arm. 3, 2, 1, back up. Excellent. Let's go one more time here. Drive that hand down. Reach across. Three, 2, 1, back up, and ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. So the good thing about this is we can get that rotation. We can really focus on keeping those feet nice and active, keeping the lower body active. So again, we're not rotating at the lower body here, but what we are doing is we're kind of cueing, to at least to stop ourselves from rotating, of driving that outside hip forward. Otherwise, we end up being in a more position like this. All right. So left hand is up top, gripping the stick here, driving the stick down. I'm going to bring that left hand across the body. Reach back with the right. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Back forward. Let's go 2 more. Drive the stick down. Come across. 3, 2, 1, back forward. Let's go one more time here, folks. Bring that left arm across. Three, 2, 1, and back forward. And ease off here. Excellent. All right. Now we're going to get into utilizing the dumpy squat here. So this is where we're going to need the band. So we're first actually going to start off with the band being around the top of the knees here. So we're going to eventually work it down to being around the feet here, because we're going to increase that lever length and increase the workload on the hips and glutes. So now I have the band set up right around the top of my knees here. Now, for this, I'm gonna go with about a roughly shoulder width stance for my squat stance here. Now my toes are gonna be pointed out slightly, and that's okay. Now, what we're doing here is you wanna make sure that as we're squatting, we're driving those knees out against the band, so you should feel more glute and hip engagement here. We're gonna do 5 repetitions. We're not gonna do a long pause at the bottom, but we do wanna make sure that we're keeping a good stable position here. So stick is driving up into the wall or something stable. And sticks line up in the middle of the body. Hands are stacked about roughly belly button to waist height. I want to drive the stick up about 60%. So push. Good. Make sure you're gripping the ground with the feet here. Now I'm going to slowly push myself down into the squat. Driving my knees out. Then back up. Good. And ease off. Right? So you should be feeling, again, more glute and hip engagement. A lot of those external rotators. Let's go 4 more here. Let's keep that tension of driving the stick up into the top of the frame here. So drive up, 60%. Push, drive yourself down, knees out, grip the ground with your feet. Back up. There's 2. Good. Drive down, nice and slow, keep it controlled. Up. 3. Excellent. We got 2 more here. Drive yourself down, nice and slow. Up. 4. One last time. Knees out. Up. Ease off. Good. Now I'm going to move the band down to the feet here. Now we want the band to be right where the arch of your foot, right about where the arch of your foot is here. Now the stance that you're going to go with, it's okay if it's a little bit closer, but you want to make sure that there is actual tension on the band here. Now, reason why I want to go with tension here, again, we're going to further kick on those hips and glutes a little bit more because now I'm having to work harder since the band is further from the lever area. So I'm going to have my feet facing forward here, and it's going to kind of change your squat mechanics a slight bit, but we do want to go with a toe forward angle. And so same cues. Grab the ground with your feet. Keep them really active here. My hands are still in the same spot. Actually, go ahead and switch those hands here. We're gonna do 5 reps again. So, driving the stick up, 60%. Get nice and tall posture. Knees out. Good. Up. 1. Keep those knees out. Down. Up. 2. Down. Up. 3. 2 more. Drive up. Up. 4. One more time. Up. And 5. Good. Ease off. Excellent. Keep the band on your feet here. Now we're going to grab our second stick. We're first going to start off with marches, and then we're going to move on to hip abductions here. So I'm going to have my feet a little spaced apart, and we're only going to hold that top end of the range here for about a second. We're going to do 10 repetitions. We're going to switch legs, so we're going to be alternating. Left, right, left, right, left, right. So, from here, feet planted, arms are straight, bottoms of the sticks are in line with the toes, so we got natural arm line drive. I want to drive the sticks down. Let's go 70% tension. Bring that left hip up. Dorsiflex ankle. Left foot down, right foot up. Excellent. That's 1. That's 2. Keep that ankle dorsiflexed. That's 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, keep it going. 8, so 2 more. 9, last one. Good, up. And 10, excellent. A little hard there, a little hard balance-wise too, but the good thing about it is that again, it teaches us also to keep that grounded leg really straight, so we need to really drive off that grounded leg. So now we're gonna go hip abductions. And so for this, we're just gonna go with stick taps. So we already got some tension on the sticks, or sorry, on the hips here. We just wanna really get as close as we can to the end range. So you can always change how far the stick is away from your midfoot here. So I'm at my feet pointed forward. I do have about 2 to 3 inches of space between the feet. I'm gonna start off with my left hip. Now, you wanna keep your feet pointed forward the entire time that we do this here, all right? So you don't want them to rotate outwards or anything. So, right foot stays grounded, grab the ground with that foot, hands are at shoulder height, and what I'm gonna do, drive those sticks down. Let's go with 60% tension. I'm gonna hover my left foot, bring it out, touch the stick, back in. Good, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 5 more. 6, 7. Keep driving those sticks down. 8, 9. Last one. 10. Ease off. Take a second. So again, we're trying to really focus on getting as close to that injury as we can. Just tap in the stick here. We just want to make sure we maintain control of the hip. We're doing that same thing. Also, try not to shift and lean. We want to try to keep everything nice and stable. The only moving thing is going to be that hip here. So now we're going to switch over to the right side. Drop both sticks down. It's all right, 60% over the right foot. Bring it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Good, excellent. Now, let's go and get into that cool down here. And so with this, you can always adjust your position. So if going out that wide is too hard, move the sticks in a little bit. If the band tension is too much, you can always take the band off and just do a little bit of isometric for 1 second here. So now we're gonna work on opening up those adductors a bit. So we're gonna kind of go back to the hip flexor stretch position. However, the angle of the front leg is gonna be a little bit different here. So I'm gonna have my left knee down. I'm gonna have my right foot forward. I'm gonna have my right foot outwards at about a 45-degree angle here. Now what this allows me to do, as long as I'm shifting my hips towards my front leg, allows me to get into those adductors. So it's gonna feel pretty good here. So we're gonna do that same thing, follow the same protocol as I did it earlier, which is just working in and out of that stretch. We're gonna do it 10 times. So from here, right leg is out, foot is pointed outwards, both sticks are in front of me, right? And they're about in line, the bottom of the sticks are in line with my toes on my right foot here. Back foot, driving the top of that foot into the floor, drive the sticks into the floor about 20%, squeeze that left glute, keep that pelvis tucked. Now we're gonna shift towards that right leg. Good, 1, really try to split those hips. Drive that right leg forward and out, left leg back and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 5 more. Split those hips. 6, 7, 8. Let's go 2 more. Split the hips here. 9. Last one. Excellent. 10. Let's go on to switch sides. So we're gonna do that same thing here. So if you need a really good stretch, especially for the groin or short adductor area, this is a great stretch. Same position, drive the sticks down, drive the back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute, keep it nice and tight, and split those hips. The hips are going in opposite directions. 1. Good. 2. Control your breathing. 3. 4. 5. Let's go 5 more. Keep driving those sticks down. 6. Split the hips. 7. 3 more. 8. Last 2. 9. 1 more. Excellent. Ease off. Good. Let's take a second here. I'm going to place one stick down. Now we're going to get into stretching out the hamstrings. So I'm going to have my left leg forward, since we just did the left leg here, and I'll actually show this from the side here. Now, the objective as we do this here is to not only drive the hips back, but we're driving the stick down to further increase or facilitate a greater stretch in the hamstring here. So I'm gonna go with keeping my ankle, left ankle dorsiflex. My right foot, I'm gonna have it dorsiflex as well, just so I can keep a pretty good amount of balance here. And I'm gonna have the stick relatively far in front of the line of my left foot here. So I'm gonna have my hands going down the stick, slight bend to the left knee. I'm gonna first activate by driving that heel down into the floor. So about 15% tension, all right? Keep that left knee bent. Now I'm gonna push down on the stick with both hands and then shift my hips back and allow my torso to come forward. Gonna get a nice, good stretch in the hamstring. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna come up and ease off. We're gonna do that 2 more times here. So remember, slight bend to the knee so you can access those hamstring tissues. Drive that heel down 15%. Drive your hands down towards the floor and towards your body. And then drive those hips back and hinge. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Good. Ease off. Let's go 1 more time here, folks. So drive that heel down. Drive the stick down. Then hinge those hips back. Allow the torso to come forward. Breathe. Keep the ankle dorsiflexed. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. And now we're going to switch sides. Back here. So right leg is forward. Let's take a step in the same way. On the opposite shoulder of the leg that's forward. So we're going to do that same thing here. We're going to first activate, drive that heel down into the floor. Good, get some tension. Pull down on the stick. And then hinge those hips back. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Come out, ease off. Good. Let's do 2 more here. Drive that heel down. Push down on the stick. hinge, 3, 2, 1, back up, ease off. Let's go one more time here. Heel up, so dorsiflex that ankle, drive that heel into the floor, 15%, pull down on the stick, hinge back, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, excellent, ease off and relax here. Good. Now, I'm gonna switch legs. We're still gonna be using the pad, we're still on our knees here. But we're gonna get into a half kneeling single arm hang. So this is gonna allow us to create tension, but really reach up and focus on keeping good alignment and posture as we go through this here. So my right leg is down and I have my right foot, top of my right foot, back into the floor. So if you saw it from the side, it'd look like this. All right, so I'm extending that ankle. Now, the main objective here, and I'll actually stay to the side, is I want to reach up as high as I can with my right hand, and I want to feel like I'm actually getting a relatively good stretch here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first drive that back foot down, squeeze that glute, and then I'm going to drop my weight down into the stick here. And I want to keep that stick back. I want to keep a nice, good position here. I'm going to place my left hand on the stick for added support. Now what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to rotate towards my front leg. So I'm going to rotate to my left. So I'm going to increase the stretch or lengthening of that posterior line here, that sling system. So I'm going to get a stretch in the lats, the lateral line. I'm going to come back to center. Excellent, and ease off. Good. We're going to do that again. So reach up top, high with the right hand, left hand's on the stick, drive that left or right arm down, squeeze the glute, drop into it, rotate to the left, get a nice good stretch in that right lat. 3, 2, 1, back forward and ease off. Excellent. Let's go one more time here. If you want an increased stretch, you can always shift out the bottom of the stick away from your body and shift your hips a little bit more going down towards the bottom of the stick here. Okay, so I should kind of show you from here. So same thing, left hand's on the stick, right hand's up as high as it can go. Drive that stick down lightly, squeeze the right glute, sink my hips. Then I'm gonna drop my right hip in towards the bottom of the stick, rotate to my left. Now I get an increased stretch. 3, 2, 1, excellent. Ease off and relax. I'm going to show from the front here. We're going to switch sides. So right foot is forward, left foot is back. Extending that ankle, reach up high with the left hand, right hand on the stick here. Remember, like lightly drive that stick down, squeeze the glute, get a nice, you should be feeling like you're getting a little bit of a hang in that left hand. Rotate to the right. 3, 2, 1, back forward and ease off. Good. We're gonna do that again. Reach up high, right hand's on the stick, lightly drive the stick down, squeeze the glutes, sink into it. Good. Rotate towards that front leg. Three, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Now I'm gonna move the bottom of the stick out a little bit, right? Increase that stretch. Left hand is up, right hand is on the stick here. Drive that left hand down, squeeze the glute, drop the hip in towards the bottom of the stick, rotate to your right. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off and relax. And that, my friends, is today's stick mobility class. Thank you again for joining me. I hope everybody liked the class and enjoyed it. Be sure to check out other content, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe. Have a good one.